Coming to Kindle Unlimited this April, Esteemed Goddess of. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a demonic dominatrix in this all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pre-order your copy of Esteemed Goddess of on Kindle Unlimited or pick up the paperback today. Yesterday, Senator Kamala Harris was forced to end her campaign to run for president in the 2020 election. And your Kamala Harris says that she had to end her campaign because she was running out of money. But I believe the main reason why Kamala Harris was running out of money was due to numerous videos by people like Professor Black Truth, people in the B1 Brigade, ADOS Black Americans, and the new black media telling the truth about Kamala Harris's record and telling the truth about Kamala Harris and her position on numerous issues in the black community. And with the ending of Kamala Harris's campaign, I can say that Professor Black Truth, members of the B1 Black Brigade, and ADOS Black Americans have secured a victory because this ending of Kamala Harris's campaign sends a message to the world that black Americans are no longer going to fall for the okie doke of someone like a Kamala Harris, someone who believes that they can just come into the black community with their creamy white skin and their mixed heritage from that is not ADOS centered and just come in and try to win over black people the same way that your Barack Obama came into black America in 2008, selling himself just based on the color of his skin and not bringing anything as related to the content of his character or anything substantive to black Americans. With the fall of Kamala Harris, we clearly see the end of that type of candidate getting any traction in the black community because the black community as a whole is no longer listening to the same games from the same types of race hustlers like your Barack Obama, who in 2008 promised black people hope and change, but by 2016 had a completely different story to tell black people as he verbally abused, berated, and derided them over the 8 years of his presidency. So black people who are ADOS are no longer listening to the okie dokes from people like your Kamala Harris, these people who come from the boule and are handpicked by white supremacy to represent black interests and be a mouthpiece and be a symbol of so-called diversity, but actually do nothing for black Americans at all. Black people are tired of people like your Kamala Harris who come out here running on a skin tone, but actually have a record that really shows how much they don't like black people and how they go out of their way to oppress black people like your Kamala Harris did as a attorney general and a prosecutor. This woman went out of her way to prosecute black people, and she had nothing but vitriol and contempt for black people. So what happened to your Kamala Harris was she thought she could come in and try to run as this black candidate, but she didn't understand that her record was running against her. And when black people in new black media found out about her record, they let the world know what Kamala Harris was all about. And with them letting the world know what Kamala Harris was all about, this destroyed Kamala Harris's base in her as related to her campaign, because your Kamala Harris thought she could walk in here and just run on using the black vote as her base, and like Barack Obama did back in 2008. But she came into a rude awakening because Now in 2019 and 2020, we have new black media out here, and new black media is not letting people like Kamala Harris take the black community for granted anymore. And the reason why we're not letting people like Kamala Harris take us for granted anymore is because we saw the swerve we got with Barack Obama. Mr. Hope and Change all gave all sorts of tangibles to everybody under the sun, but had nothing but speeches where he expressed his contempt for the voting bloc that voted for him 96%, I believe, or 97% in 2008 and 93% in 2012. And black people realized that they could not fall for the same okie doke from another one of these uppity, boule, black elite Negro lapdogs anymore, and they walked away from your Kamala Harris, destroying her campaign before it even started. So Kamala Harris's campaign never got any traction because most of the new black media revealed the truth about this Kamala Harris before she could start running her game, or Hollywood could go out here and trot out one of their mammies like Oprah Winfrey to showcase this mammy as the candidate everybody needs to vote for. Because Barack Obama had all of those advantages, and those advantages managed to help him build a national audience all across the country and allowed him to solidify support with Americans in the black community and be able to take advantage of gullible black people who weren't politically aware. But this time around, we had new black media out here on social media, and with new black media getting the word out about Kamala Harris on numerous social media platforms, this is what put the nail in Kamala's coffin before the coffin could even be opened. So your Kamala Harris was a dead-on-arrival campaign, and it was on arrival campaign primarily because of new black media, and new black media getting the word out about Kamala Harris's track record in California as a prosecutor, as an attorney general, and as a senator, and showcasing all of the times she expressed contempt for black people, and showcasing all of the times she put a middle finger up at black people. And black people decided, okay, if you're going to show us contempt, then we are going to show the world what type of candidate you truly are. And once we show the world what kind of candidate you truly are, that's going to be the end of you, because we only support candidates who offer tangibles. And if you do not offer any sort of tangibles, then you are not going to get any black votes. And that's what I believe is going to lead to a rude awakening for many candidates who are on the left side and the right side in the 2020 election, is they're going to find that if they want to get the black vote this time, they're going to have to bring some tangibles to the table. And this election isn't really guaranteed for any party as I see it, because if no one is offering tangibles, then they're not going to be getting any votes this time around. And this time around, we are clearly seeing that black people are no longer allowing themselves to be taken for granted as a voting bloc anymore. And that has a lot of these candidates out here really shook, because someone like Kamala Harris over 25, 30 years ago would have gotten a guaranteed block of black votes like when Jesse Jackson was running, and they definitely would have gotten a block of black votes in 2008 when Barack Obama was running. And that block of black votes would have signified a way for them to win a primary or a group of primaries a nomination and even an election. But with that block of black votes now saying that they want tangibles for that vote, then this really puts that election of many of these candidates in jeopardy, because you cannot rely on the black vote anymore. And you without the black vote, you really aren't going to make much splash as related to anything. So this is a major game changer for most of these politicians, who are finding that the more black people stay home, the more black people don't vote, the more of an impact it has on every election, from the local to the presidential. And this has all these candidates really spooked, because Kamala Harris was supposed to be their person to really get that black vote, and her Boule partner Cory Booker are finding that they got the least amount of support from black voters, and more black voters again are staying home because they're tired of hearing promises from these political parties. What they want to see are tangibles offered as related to dealing with issues in the black community. And if we don't see any tangibles, then we don't see any reason to vote for any of these politicians, because if you're not bringing tangibles to the table, then we shouldn't even care about thinking about your campaign. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my books in the SJS Direct imprint, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.